Undaudu. To you and yours, Undaudu. The open hand, meaning the fifth age of man. The calendar ended and ushered in the fifth age. I'm going to share with you the ages. The first age of man was the evolution of man from the monk ape. Look at all these mosquitoes around me, right? They're all hungry, all these women. they sense my carbon dioxide and they're like, I gotta eat. I'm not gonna be meditating here. Keep walking, brisk walk. So, the first stage of man was from the monk ape to the aquatic ape, semi-aquatic ape, the monk ape. That's the first age. You can think of that, if you think of the Ouroboros, you think of that is the part of the serpent that's from the very corner of the mouth to the teeth, right? That little area right there, that's the first age of man. That was actually a very long age. Started some 60 million years ago to about, I don't know, 800,000 years ago, maybe? I don't know. We don't really know when Homo sapiens became Homo, when the aquatic ape became the aquatic, semi-aquatic. I don't like to call it aquatic ape. We weren't aquatic, we were semi-aquatic. Easter Island ape. So we don't know when we left Atlantis. I call it Atlanthus. So we developed off the coast of Somalia. If you look at the Google Maps there, you can see, I'm gonna have to invent something just to like swat mosquitoes. Oh, the electric thing, that would be cool. This is when that little electric thing would be great. Zapper. I think I already got bit. One landed on me, already bit me. Oh. So the 5 ages, how do we get the 5 ages? Ah, great, 10 seconds. Not a lot of time to record, maybe the end of the street and back. That's that. The first age, the second age of man, is when we landed off of Atlanthus, which was located off the coast of Somalia. All right, there was an island there. That was the closest island. That was the mountain. But way out there, if you look at Google Map, you can see there was a huge peninsula. Out there is Atlanthus. I got him. Great. So, and then the landing was the second age. And then from the second age, which was the landing, actually, you know, the anthropologists say we arrived some, 250,000 years. We actually didn't. We actually arrived about 400,000 years ago. We land. But we lived on the coast, and we've lost about 300 feet of coastline. So all the evidence, we would have hugged the beach. As you have to imagine, we were fearful of, we lived on the beach probably for 100,000 years. We were like, what the fuck, right? You were like, we could eat off the beach, we could feed off the beach. There was no reason for us to go into the interland of Africa. There was no reason. So for 100 years, we traveled, right? We followed the coast. The Aborigine people, took their time and slowly made it to Australia. It wasn't a race. It's just like, hey, let's live here. Let's live here. So they slowly migrated over a course of, killed that one. If you're gonna fly with me, you're gonna have a chance of dying with me. I'm gonna take you out. So anyway, and so the story of Undaudu starts at the end of the second age of man, ushering the third age of man. And that age ultimately represents the end of the nomadic period of mankind. So the second age was nomadic. We didn't have cities, we didn't have villages. We moved all the time. And the third age is the age of kings, the age of empires. And that leads us to the fourth age, which was the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. And the Ouroboros has 4 legs, right? And that image there, that's what the alchemy represents. The alchemy is the 4 legs. The first leg is steam. The second leg is electricity. And there's a big gap, right? That goes the internet information age, right? And then that's the long, electricity was a long time, then came information. And then shortly after information came AI, right? Came artificial intelligence. And that's what we're in right now. So we're at the end of, in that 4th age, in many respects, the advent of that era, okay, ended in 1220, so we're now entering the 5th age, which is the last age of man, where it's it, undaudu, we're in it. And the question is whether we're going to survive and make it. Where's my sunrise? Undaudu, undaudu, undaudu. This is where the sun comes out. Undaudu, 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 undaudu. Look at how it flashes at me. Undaudu, 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 undaudu. Comes up right over there. The sun. It's right behind the clouds. And rice paddies, and all these guys need to grow up and eat the damn mosquitoes. So those are the ages of man. That's all I'm going to talk about in this video, is the Ouroboros. And the head of the Ouroboros represents mankind lying. The image of the Ouroboros comes from Shigamatra. Shigamatra was the first enlightened being. It was the great, and the reason why we have the mammoth, or we have the elephant, it actually was a mammoth, but they didn't know mammoth, so they took the hair off it. It was actually mammoth. She was the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the last. And the reason why she was called the Alpha and the Omega is because the pass down of knowledge from her mother to her mother to her mother. She was the encyclopedia of stories. So Shigamatra, witnessed the coming of, she was there and witnessed or her mother, right? The Alpha and the Omega. When I talk Shigamatra, I'm talking about the entire, lineage of her species, right? It's not just one, and sometimes it refers to as one. So sometimes I'm referring to it as the Alpha and the Omega. Sometimes I'm referring to it as the Omega. The Omega meaning the last. She was the last. So I should say the Alpha and the Omega, Shigamatra, witnessed the evolution of the monk ape into the semi-aquatic ape. They witnessed the arrival of the Ouroboros. The Ouroboros was the name she gave to mankind, the Ouroboros. The Ouroboros is here. The Ouroboros, the prophecy of the Ouroboros was to destroy the planet. So she set out to destroy, and stop that prophecy from happening, and she failed. And in the failure, she ends up devouring the troops. She becomes a meat eater, right? Because she leaves and she goes up the mountain Everest, which the Sanskrit name is similar to Shigamatra. That's where I came up with the name Shigamatra. And she goes there to die, but what happens is man comes to slay her, because the prophecy is whoever slays her will usher in the age of kings. So she kind of wakes up. She's huge. She's hard to kill. I mean, she's a fucking mammoth, It's not like you can run up there and just kill it. And she's not like any old mammoth. She's like 5-10 times bigger than any mammoth you can imagine, right? She's huge. So she wakes up, and when she eats the dews, the dew is the mother of is the one tribe, the dew, and then there are the new, and the rue, okay? And the dew, she eats the dew, which is the oldest tribe, and she sees agriculture. She sees fields and fields like this, fields and fields of food, right? And she sees, wheat, and she's like, and because when Shigamatra eats her people, she sees that vision, right? She starts seeing agriculture and everything else. And when the news come, which are the polytheists, they're the ones living across the Nile and on the coast of the Saharas, right? That's where where Enkidu and Gilgamesh, the story of all that took place, right? The Babylonians Gilgamesh is Undaldu, by the way. Gilgamesh. And so when she eats them, all of a sudden she sees cities and she sees castles and she sees construction, architecture, and it's like all the, those two mosquitoes were being naughty with each other. I've never seen two mating mosquitoes until just now. And then, she devours them, kills them, they try to kill her. And then finally, Ru, right? Ru comes. She's the monotheist. And the youngest of the sisters, the kind of the tamest of the sisters, right? She's the righteous one. Ru the righteous, the monotheist. When Shigamatra devours the chief's oldest son, right? She has these visions of people flying and technology and all this. She sees technology. She sees the bomb exploding. She sees, the destruction. She sees war. She sees all this horrific stuff come out, right? And then she sees this image blaring into her mind's eye of Undaldu sitting on a chain of blocks. Out of his mind comes this new solution, right? The new age, the fifth age. On his back is Obey, or the noodle, right? Is AI. And around him are his 19 brothers that he slew, right? As part of the ritual that he had to kill. His best friend, Brakdu and Chakdu and Midu and Vidu, all these individuals, which by different names, but they're all returning now with Undaldu. He awakened them with the Mayan calendar, and she sees that actually Undaldu, she recognizes recognize who it is, and she, and she's like, wow, I'm glad I didn't kill him. Or, he's important. And that's part of the story. So now talking about the symbol of Undaldu. What does it mean? Now you know.